Hey everybody, One Wisdom here. It is Thursday, November 20th, 2014. We just opened up Micro Comic Fun Pack number 2, which featured legendary blades. And it included the legendary Sphere poster number 2, and of course, I Am Legendary, the Blades comic. So, what we've got here is Jawbreaker. He was set to release the 16th. He was like the final of the three. They released them the 2nd, 9th, and 16th respectively. Only available at Toys R Us. $9.99 is your retail price. Issue I had, and I know a lot of you had the same thing, is on the 9th, Legendary Blades was nowhere, and yet this was out. A lot of stores just, I don't know, they just sold them to people, or, some people I know are pretty hardcore in the Skylanders. I guess they kind of cut into the managerial space and made them sell to them since it was out. But my store pulled them. I had a dental appointment that Tuesday, so I was going to pick up blades on Tuesday, and they never got them until today, 11 days later. But they did have Jawbreaker. They just couldn't sell him until the 16th. They pulled it back. Technically did the right thing there, but it is available now. Again, stock. They didn't have a huge selection of any of them, but they did have all three. Blades did seem to be the least stock. That said, they were not sorted by any stretch of the imagination. There were basically 4 pegs of these, and Blades was on the front of the bottom left peg, and I skimmed through the top 2, and all I saw was Jawbreaker and Deja Vu. So if I had to say which one is more rare, I'd say Blades. It could vary store to store, but they probably ship in the same quantity, so maybe he's just the more popular. I don't know the logic behind it. But $9.99, this is what you get on the backside. Of course, this is from IDW. That's who did the comic books. You got the trap in the portal. You can catch a villain, and then, of course, you can play as the villain for a limited time. Coming down, traps, of course, only compatible with Skylander's trap team. Hopefully, moving forward, these have the same function. Otherwise, there will be some seriously upset people. What is included in this $9.99 purchase from Toys R Us? You get the comic book. Can I read that? Blame It on the Train, I believe, is what his comic is going to be titled. It's really hard to see through the camera. You get the legendary Jawbreaker standy. You get poster number 3. You got, I guess, technically Light Core Flash. These are basically your Swap Force cast of characters, so if you wanted to be like really particular there, but nonetheless, just generically speaking, Flashwing, Gilgrunt, Eruptor, and Trigger Happy. And then, of course, you get this trap. The only thing that bothers me, this is actually one of my favorite traps. The only downside is I would have preferred the traps line up with the character elementally. That's just like a small complaint on my end, but I would have preferred like a tech trap with Jawbreaker. So anyway, we're gonna come in here and just open this thing up now. Alright, my knife is somewhere, but these are actually pretty easy to open. I say that and then we don't get a good tear. But again, if you're buying these things and you're not opening them, I don't know what you're doing. I realize some people are like obsessive compulsive collectors of that nature, but like literally, this is a trap which can't function in this packaging. You can't have the standy on display if you leave it in the packaging. You can't frame the poster. And most importantly, you can't read the comic book, which is actually a pretty cool little piece here. Again, the comic right there for Legendary Jawbreaker is Blame It on the Train. So looking forward to checking that one out. We'll detail that in just a second, but we'll kind of reverse unbox this thing. What I like about the Spectral Skull Trap is it's actually like two-sided. And it's not hard to get out, as we learned there, but it actually looks pretty cool. Now the one thing is, of course, only one side has the skull logo, so if you've just got to have it squared in your portal, you'd want this side facing in. The way this worked, Deja Vu came with this trap. This is the Jughead, and it's in the water element that equates to the Flood Flask. When I put this in with her introduction, it was actually dubbed as the Legendary Flood Flask. Thus, this is the Spectral Skull. Here is the Standard Edition. This is your regular old, when you see this sculpt of a trap, and it's from the undead element, it is called the Spectral Skull. So, taking the logic we got from the Legendary Flood Flask, I have to assume that this trap right here, special from the Micro Comic Fun Trap, will be dubbed the Legendary Spectral Skull. Maybe they'll change it on me, I don't know, but for right now, that's what I know, so I'm going to run with that. It's actually kind of cool, and like I said, this is one of my favorite traps overall, so at least in the undead elements. It's a cool sculpt regardless, but for undead, this is pretty much the cream of the crop, in my opinion. So, What I plan to do with this one, this will be my Wolfgang trap. Or maybe evolved Wolfgang. I'll probably have standard and evolved Wolfgang. But that said, I'm going to use this one for Wolfgang. So its plot in life has been predetermined. What we get here, this is the micro poster checklist. Deja Vu came with this one. Chop Chop, Pop Fizz, and Stealth Elf. Again, these are all based on the Swap Force deviations of the characters. Number 2, which was Blades, you got Spyro, Prism Break, and Jetvac. And then number 3, you got Trig, Eruptor, Gilgrunt, and Flashwing. So backside here you kind of have the front cover of the pack, if you will. Opening it up, we don't need to take a look at that, we just want to take a look here. Wait, okay, oh yeah, I was gonna say I just got royally screwed. And, I was just off. That was my fault. Anyway, so the front of the pack, as I was saying, this is Jawbreaker. I was gonna be like, man, I got one serious factory error. But right here, this is actually a very vivid poster, in part because of Eruptor there. But this is poster number 3. As you can see in the corner, all is right in the world. There's no crisis, as I thought there was. There's Big Bang Trigger Happy. We got Volcanic Eruptor. We got Light Core Flashwing. And then, of course, anchors away the Gilgrunt. So that's what we were looking for. Again, this one was actually sitting right below me, and I had the Jawbreaker stuff here, and we just unboxed Blades, and it's like right here off camera, so that was my fault entirely. That said, next up, we're going to take a look at the standy. This is kind of an aggressive pose for Jawbreaker. It's not like his little figure in and of itself right there with one arm up, one down. This is like he's physically punching at something. So this, of course, is number 3, as you can see there. Two-sided, so that's nice. It actually does look like he punches at you when I flip that quick enough. We'll just pop this out. This is going to square things up. We'll send this one out. We'll chuck that to the side. Blades flew a little farther if anyone's keeping score at home. And all you do is just slide that in place, and then of course that squares it up at the floor. And now you've got it on display. Of course, with it being two-sided, you've got front and back. So if you don't have it on furniture against the wall, you've got it in the middle or something, you can actually take advantage of both sides. We'll set that there. Let me make sure I grab the right comic book this time. Alright, so Blame It on the Train, that is the title. Again, the cover of these comics is actually on pretty cool paper. It's a little extra, kind of like a cardstock type. It's got some gloss and sheen to it. Looks pretty dadgum cool. Kind of pops a little bit if you get it in the right light. We'll go ahead and open this up. Now, this is pretty cool. There really is a train. We've got Flynn, Callie, lots of the old cast here, so that's pretty sweet. That said, I'm not going to read it to you. I don't want to spoil that for you. I just want to kind of see who all is involved. You can kind of skim these pictures, and I'll save the text for you later. We got some trolls. Pretty sure that's a troll and not Boomer, sadly. Would have been cool to have Boomer in here. Yeah, this seems to be like all Jawbreaker, man. So, really no companion characters, Skylander-wise. Fittingly, there's the bio for Jawbreaker, if you're a big Jawbreaker fan. Flip the page, we got Crypt King, an awesome character. There's Flipwreck, I guess they're teasing and taunting us with that. And then, of course, another tech element character, Chopper. Would have been nice to see him in there. But nonetheless, that's that. Again, these are actually pretty dadgum cool little comics. If you enjoy like the stories behind the characters, their feats of strength, the little miscellaneous things they get into when they're not battling chaos, things of that nature, these are actually really, really neat. I've very much so enjoyed the Deja Vu ones. So, that is that. That's basically all she wrote. The stock on these, Jawbreaker, seemed pretty good. Again, it's kind of skewed at my local store because they had the shipping errors. But basically what you get the poster number 3, which of course, you know, is your characters we outlined there. You get the comic book for Legendary Jawbreaker, Blame It on the Train. You get the Legendary Jawbreaker standy, which you can see here by Mystic Hex. We've got custom painted. And then, of course, you get the super cool Legendary Spectral Skull there from the Undead Elements. So, $9.99, not a bad deal when you consider this thing would set you back $6 on its own. You're basically paying $4 for the standy, the poster, and the comic. I'd value the comic right around $4 or $5 anyway. So, pretty sweet little package, again, if you're into collections or you just particularly want some special traps, or you're just interested in the comics, it just makes sense in a lot of ways. Many people have told me they're actually picking those up for their kids as stocking stuffers. They're very sleek packaging. They won't take up a lot of space. You can slide them in a lot of slim profiled spaces. So keep that in mind if you need to fit something in Skylanders themed for Christmas, and you can also get some reading value out of it for the kids. If you're like myself and you're just an awesome older person that plays Skylanders, you can go ahead and open them now. But that said, again, my apologies on it taking so long to get these. They did have Jawbreaker out when Blades should have appeared on the 9th. They just didn't sell any of them, and then they apparently didn't get Blades back in stock until today, so I managed to pick both of them up today. That said, any questions, feel free to ask. Best place to post them, either my Twitter feed or the Skylander Club Forum. Speaking of which, if you are into all things Skylanders, I encourage you to check the site out, skylanderclub.com. That'll take you straight to the forum. Check it out. If you like what you see, sign up. We would absolutely love to have you. My personal site is oneofwisdom.com. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. If you have not subscribed, you need to do so immediately. Tons more Skylanders Trap Team content coming your way, including probably more comics in all honesty. So that said, thanks for watching. For myself and legendary Jawbreaker, we will catch you back here next time.